YouTube? It's your boy Tyler Saint. Sad situation about this nigga Kyren Lacy. He was like, if y'all don't know Kyren Lacy, I did a TikTok on this about him. They said he was speeding and he hit like an old veteran and the veteran died when his car wasn't even in the vicinity of the car when it came to Kyren Lacy. He basically was framed for killing an old veteran where his car was nowhere near the scene or hella meters away from the scene. But the police officer wanted to get the case done over with quickly, so he just said he did it, and everybody jumped on it. Oh, typical for the black kid, typical for this. And usually I'll be trolling, have a lot of jokes in these videos. I'm gonna keep it p. Cause this is a young man who took his own life because he thought it was over. Nobody believed him. He wasn't invited to. He had a bright potential. He was extremely talented on that football field, but this moment really, really changed his life and caused him to take his own life in GTA. Not GTA, but God rest this young man's soul.
He is going to change the way things are done. He's going to make people think twice about what they say before they say it. Not everybody, somebody. Maybe Kyren Lacy makes someone think twice before the next investigation to say, hold on, maybe we got to look at a few other things here, right? Maybe let's not jump to conclusions.
It's crazy. This is a young man that lost his life.
Somebody else is saved from the same exact thing. Maybe thousands.
And a story that I know isn't going to get its due justice, former LSU standout star Kyren Lacy has basically been, proven to be innocent without reasonable doubt, even though he is no longer here on earth.
That's what I'm saying. Where is this on the news? But every time, receiver Kyren Lacy in a car crash, I'd be like, what? I ain't gonna lie, bro. Man.
He makes massive scrutiny for being potentially a part of a homicide that happened in a car crash. And the scrutiny that he faced online, the claims on his life that he was having from the public, there were people calling him everything but the child.
Literally, this situation, like he was supposed to go in the draft. Like literally, Kyren was literally supposed to go in the draft. And he couldn't because this situation, like NFL teams wasn't actually invited him. Like, bro, and I watched the footage of the thing. The witness said, yo, that's not what happened. And the police officer turned off his camera. His lame ass, like, bro.
Actually took over his mental health and had him take his life. And unfortunately, we're just now getting evidence that is proving that without a shadow of a doubt, it was impossible that he could have even been a part of that.
That's
and now
it.
He's just gone. And the internet has to rethink everything they knew.
If LSU and ESPN don't publicly call out this up system
and apologize
that is happening to Kyren Lacy and his family, I am not watching college football. This is disgusting. And if you can't look at what happened to Kyren Lacy and see your brother or see your sister, see someone that got thrown under the bus for something that they didn't do, that was 4 cars behind them.
Literally, bro, literally. Yo, could you imagine not even being but niggas see the charger and you a nigga, they be like, he did it, bro. Like, what?
Go look at the story. Go look at the police body cam footage. You say that racism doesn't exist. You say that it's not systemic. They literally killed a young football player with a bright future.
Literally.
Some old person couldn't hit their brakes fast enough, and you got a scapegoat 4 cars behind you.
We are now finding out that Lacy never caused that car crash, and he was framed by the police. He passed away for no reason. You see, come to find out, Lacy was nowhere near the accident when it happened. You can see his car literally be the last vehicle at the scene, and it just goes around him. When a witness told the officer that
my black ass would have went the other way, boy, I'm like, fuck no.
The person who caused the accident was the woman, the officer led the witness and told him, no, I need you to say that Charger is the one who caused the accident.
What? Like,
because of this situation,
that's
Lacy's
sick.
draft stock dropped. People were attacking his family and him on social media, saying that he took the life of a veteran. And due to an altercation that he got the night before court, he thought he was going to jail for life and just decided to go to the Lord. The officers and investigators that framed him for this incident and forgot that body cams exist, they need to be charged.
Literally, like, you destroyed this nigga life for what, bro? Like, y'all niggas are bored. That's why I say, Bro, police officers, people like, oh, police aren't doing that anymore. Niggas are weird, bro. Whether whether it was negligence or not, bro. You wanted to end this nigga. You saw this nigga driving the charge and popping and shit, and you was like, oh, this black kid. How does he? Damn, this nigga got a hole in his wall. How does he have the audacity to do that in front of me in my fucking country? Nigga, weird ass police. I hope they charge that nigga. And they, bro, what? But these police officers, they're gonna get protected because it's like a society, not a society. It's like a what's it called? Fraternity. It's like a fraternity. Them niggas are gonna be like, we got the information and things of that nature, and there's gonna be black officers be like, I know that man, he's cool. You're a coon, bro. You're a coon that is just a slave to the system, and you don't want other niggas to fuck with you, bro.
They need to be in jail as well.
Around mid to late December of last year, LSU standout player Kyren Lacy was wanted for his involvement in this fatal car crash. No priors, no criminal record, literally a student at LSU, good kid who had the potential to be in...
I wouldn't say good kid, but like, yo, he wasn't that nigga. He was a nigga on the field, bro.
The NFL.
YN.
He was getting the blame for a car crash that led to the death of a 78-year-old veteran, Herman Hall. The claim was that Lacy was driving at a reckless speed and that this truck had to swerve out of the lane in order to avoid a head-on collision with this car. Now, mind you, this is coming off the heels of other college athletes having similar reckless driving.
Like Henry Ruggs III, you know.
So this would fall in line, and people would just buy this story as if it was something that was fact or known to happen. But his lawyer over the weekend popped up with receipts that would prove his innocence, and honestly, it's one of the most quietest stories I've heard on my timeline.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy.
Yo, that nigga, bro, he was there. He was the last nigga to get there, bro.
As we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Way far.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from
who gave him this information. Shout out the lawyer, bro.
Data.
That nigga said, I got you. Young man, I got you after the grave, bro. Boy, shit, they paid me nice.
That Kyren Lacy did, in fact, pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that.
Yeah.
Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards, back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.
I mean, this car crash don't even look that crazy. Oh my God, that old man died?
0.6 yards behind the vehicles.
Slow down and everything.
Keyword, behind the vehicles.
That's crazy.
That is not how this story was ever painted.
No.
Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacy getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with state police in this matter. Their investigations.
Evidence comes out saying that not only was the car crash not with Lacy, but that he was 72 yards behind the actual collision incident. It's amazing when you have proof of things and then people just invalidate you left, right, and sideways as if you're not there, as if you don't have the evidence in front of you, as if you're crazy. Bad gaslighting attempts.
After watching that body cam footage, it is clear as day that Kyren Lacy was in fact framed. They painted this man out to be a murderer. It got so bad to the point where he became so hopeless that he took his own life. I'm just really curious, why did it take so long for this footage to come out? There was ample time for this footage to be presented.
Now, this is raising a lot of questions to the media, to the internet, to friends, to families, to onlookers of the situation. Why was this footage held for so long? Why did police decide to not report these things? Why was this not accessible to everyone? We live in a surveillance state. I mean, there's so many businesses, there's so many people with dash cams, there's so many cameras out there. If Kyren Lacy, LSU standout football player, got into an accident,
they probably, niggas want to pay the narrative, bro. They want to pay the narrative. That white people like, oh, blacks commit the 90% of the crimes, right? But when these white people go do these lame ass shit or do all these crimes, they don't have nothing to say. They very quiet. They're real quiet when it came to this situation too, bro. They want you to think that black people are a certain way when niggas just want to live their life and be regular, and they want to like, oh, see what black people do. They want to make them out to what they want us to be, not what we are, bro. Okay, so they're just weird, bro. They trying to paint a narrative, bro.
Think that anybody would just not have footage of it anywhere. So why was it that this was withheld from us for so long if nobody was covering things up? That's the only answer that I can come up with. Now, what makes it even worse is that there is body cam footage of the police officer in the situation and the witness to the collision. And it seems as though that the witness is being coached by the police officer in order to make a statement, kind of
And I seen he's like, that's not what happened, bro.
this person to say that certain things happened that clearly didn't happen. Not just based off of what the witness believed to happen, but also based off of the video cam footage. It's actually some of the most amazingly disgusting things I've ever seen in my life.
Don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, maybe my wife gonna figure out right quick.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, like, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't speak my car, that's what I wasn't even going for. That lady in the back of me, she didn't show what's happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and I didn't.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? Right. And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
I've been into a situation where I've been a part of a car accident, and never has the police officer ever said any suggestive language. It is just about what you said, and they let it ride from there. They're not coaching you or guiding you to believe one thing. We're looking for a certain car, pressing and pressing and pressing. And in that 5-minute video of the officer talking to the gold truck suspect in the situation, there continues to be a pressing and pressing and pressing of the situation. Mind you, there are...
Yeah, situations make, bro, and niggas want to ride. Oh, why do people like police? Because niggas are weird, bro. These niggas are weird, bro. Niggas get a little power trip and they want to put a certain nigga in jail. They do everything they can. Aren't you supposed to be above the law? Aren't you supposed to we're here to protect and serve when these niggas are the main niggas to try to put you away because they feel a petty reason because of it. They want to go against you. They got all the power they don't have in their regular life. They use when they have that fucking badge, bro. Police officers are fucking lame, bro. They're weird, bro.
Statements from when the accident actually happened that go against the idea that Kyren Lacy was involved in this. And his car had no sort of scratch in it. And to top it all off, the person involved in the situation, the person who swerved and caused the accident, has been on Facebook and had their family on Facebook talking about the situation, acknowledging but not taking full accountability that they were the ones who
because they don't want to go to jail
actually caused the accident. What else is there left to do at this point? And this is where the story turns tragic, because social media is actually powerful. The idea that you can just get off and, don't let it affect you is really just this falsity that I wish people would stop pushing, because it doesn't actually work like that. There are certain things that happen on social media that impact your real life, and it needs to be addressed. Now, part of that
like the girl, they spread that rumor about her having sex with one of the head coach, not a coach, the dad of the quarterback or something like that. That was crazy. That poor little girl, not a little, but she was blind. She's
double standard in America. There's a couple of them. The whole concept of free speech getting tossed back and forth depending on who's in power.
Not only that, Nick, now since that nigga Charlie Kirk bit the bullet, no pun intended, right? Or bit the dust, R.I.P. him. Yo, niggas are calling for cancellations. Niggas are people on the right are literally calling for cancellations. Like, oh, cancel this, cancel that, cancel this, cancel that, cancel everybody. But didn't you get mad because you wanted to call somebody a slur the other day? It's like, oh, it's freedom of speech. Why is everybody such a snowflake? Why is everybody trying to get canceled? But now I thought all jokes were okay. Like, come on, bro.
And another one is the innocent until proven guilty philosophy. Yeah. it's bullshit. Kyren Lacy was essentially crucified on the internet because of this situation. And that impacted what happened to him going forward in his NFL career.
Literally.
His not NFL career, because it was ripped away from him after the NFL revoked his combine invite based off of this news. And then after that, it was joke after joke after joke after joke after conversation about Kyren Lacy in this incident where there was little to no evidence linking him to this, truly just word of mouth that had him combined at the scene of the crime. There were literal TV news stations that were portraying him as the ultimate evil because they killed somebody who was an ex-veteran.
Digger Earls, the attorney representing
his name's rough.
Herman Hall's family, says he has been involved in a lot of high-profile litigation over his career and says he has never seen a name withheld by officials because someone was a high-profile individual.
No one is above the law, not a star athlete, not anyone.
Louisiana State Police say Lacy was driving recklessly along LA 20 in Thibodaux on December 17th, at one point crossing the center line. Drivers in the northbound lane tried to swerve out of the way, causing a head-on collision that took the life of Hall.
I think that tells us a lot about Kyren Lacy.
Attorney Digger Earls, who plans to represent Hall's family in the case, says he is a big LSU fan, but that will not stand in the way of this case.
I cheered Kyren Lacy throughout his career. That doesn't change my position or doesn't change the job that I have to do seeking justice for this family.
Public scrutiny would cause Kyren Lacy to ultimately end his life after so many people judged his character, judged who he was, stripped him away of his humanity for an incident that he wasn't even a part of. And now it's amazing to see how many people are doing a complete 180 on the situation as if the internet doesn't have receipts on them. The people most likely to end their lives in the United States are men, especially young men. Someone like Kyren Lacy, somebody who has a lot of hope and a lot of dreams, and a lot of those hopes and dreams get snatched away from them because of somebody who just honestly has it out for them. Nothing that they did, nothing that they could have stopped, nothing that they could have not been a part of, but somebody else plotting on their downfall. And those people on social media, looking to pile up on him, the outside noise finally getting to him. It's a tragic incident. It's a tragic story. And I think what makes it worse is that the evidence was always there, but he was most likely going to be cleared of all charges.
The district attorney's office in the
Damn, bro, that nigga just need to hold on. Look, it was a couple years though. It was like, bro, it was a whole damn near a whole year.
To accept formal charges. Let that sink in. We were set for grand jury today. I am privy to so much information that no one has. To get a report is a report. You know how many cases we get reports on that ultimately end up in acquittals? This one never even got past a grand jury yet, and they crucified this kid. And when I mean crucified in a manner I cannot describe. I had these talks with him where you're trying to calm it down, say, man, turn it off, let me take the heat. I got thick skin. You got a problem with me on social media? Come at me. Who cares? The narrative spun here has just been fascinating. Quite frankly, whether you were Marine or not, everybody's life is important. I have the utmost respect for Marine. Kyren had the utmost respect for Marines. That's irrelevant in this case, but the media didn't see it that way. The media, the same media, you know how upset he was? Every mugshot that was placed on there, you couldn't give him the courtesy of the 5,000 other pictures he had. You put him in a jumpsuit as if he was a thug and if he was this awful kid.
So the question is, what do we take from this? And I think that it's
police are some bitch ass niggas, and bro, listen, stay down before you so you can come up.
Quite simple in this age of the internet. In an age where platforms like KickChamp and other of these rage-baiting platforms can just exist and thrive, is that we need to stop looking for a villain in every single story. We understand it that negativity does sell. But for whatever reason, when we get into these places and spaces of online discourse where a story is being told, the first thing that we want to know is who is responsible. We don't even necessarily care about the victim in the situation. We don't even care about the person who's hurt in the situation. Hell, there was a wife to this Herman Hall and nobody really gave a damn about her. It was more about vilifying Kyren Lacy over anything. And now we're sitting here with 2 lives lost over some ill reporting and social media painting somebody to be worse than what they are in the aftermath of that ill reporting. Now, there's so many things that plagued this situation before that. I mean, the justice system has so many things that they need to talk about. The police department has so many things that they need to talk about. But it's crazy how we live in a world in which the accusation gets more coverage than the acquittal. It's crazy that we live in a world in which people can go out and claim somebody did something, but greater
with no
than
proof.
that, they get blasted on social media, stripped of their jobs, stripped of everything, and honestly kicked to the curb before we even figure out what is really going on behind closed doors, before we get anything of substance. We live in a guilty before innocent society, and at some point, it's costing people their lives, those that are actually innocent. It's actually very disturbing how many times we can look to the internet and see that somebody was called out for something that they did, and that video or that tweet or that TikTok video get millions, and I mean millions upon views on multiple different platforms. But then 6, 12, 18 months later, when these people go to court or ultimately the charges get
it dropped in like, not only the charges get dropped, proved innocent.
dropped, those videos get hundreds of thousands of views, maybe even not even posted and talked about. I understand that the world is full of evils and atrocities and we want to put names on different bullets, but honestly, what's crazy about all this is that I would even push to say that these people don't even care. They don't care when they really report on these things.
They just want clicks and views and try to drive up the engagement, bro, so they can get as much money as they can, bro. It's sad and sick, bro, but like, it's sad that this young man lost his life, bro. Literally, for something he ain't even do, bro.
If Kyren
And he
Lacy
probably thought he was going to go to jail for the rest of his life because he's like, bro, no one going to say. This is why I think having a dash cam on your own shit is one of the most special things you can have, bro.
were to never be in the NFL again and he get rehabilitated. Hell, even if he was a part of that situation, it would have been an accident, but they wouldn't have cared. They would have just cared that they got this guy out of here and made a video about it to get their clicks, likes, and views and moved on to the next thing. They're not supporting the wife in this situation. They wouldn't be supporting Kyren Lacy in this situation. They wouldn't be supporting either party's families in these situations. It's just about getting the clicks, likes, and views. So how can we go about, as a society, changing this guilty before innocence measure? I don't know, but I think especially glorifying tragedy is the first step. Gotta stop rushing to post and letting things breathe. Rest in peace to Kyren Lacy. I'm glad that you...
Nah, and those TikToks with his little brother crying at his funeral really hit different now. Because his brother ain't do nothing. I ain't gonna lie, this situation about to turn that little nigga into a monster on the field, bro. What? His little brother about to turn up. That nigga about to turn up.
We're finally seeing justice on this side of the earth. So
damn, bro. Lived for 25 years, bro. God damn, bro.
Easy. It's a tragedy that, not that we don't get to see you on the Sunday screens. I don't think that matters in the grand scheme of things. It's a tragedy that you don't get to go home for Sunday meals anymore. It's a tragedy that you don't get to be home for the holidays.
Or change your family's life, bro.
Anymore. It's a tragedy that you don't get to be who you were supposed to be anymore. Also, rest in peace to Herman Hall, somebody who was used as a pawn in this conversation to get a greater narrative off, as opposed to recognizing that a man lost his life in a tragic accident.
A young man at that, bro. He had his whole life ahead of him, bro. Man, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. How y'all feel about the situation, bro? It is what it is, bro.